Welcome to the Creative Masterminds Podcast, Fire Podcast.
Where we create more and destroy less.
Yes, sir. You know who you got in the house. You have Shawn Breeze in the house, and you also have Cast Thrive in the
Yes, sir.
building for sure. I'm not sure if I usually let you say it or not, but I probably said it
Nah.
for you. Anyway, we off to a rocky start, but we are going to keep on pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what matters most. So you know how we do. We start with our week in review, where we talk about what we got done in the week, and then we hop into our subject. Today's subject is about getting out of a funk by getting rid of all negative thoughts. ANTS is the actual acronym for it. ANTS, ANTS. By being aware of the choices that you make in your 24-hour day. So,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right, I know it's a long title, but it's gonna be fire. Let's go ahead and just talk about our week in review. Cass, go ahead and tell people what you got done this past week.
Yeah, man. Definitely was on the grind, taking care of my classes and clients, private lessons, and spending time with the family, making sure, the boys, the daughters, the wife is good. Home's got to be good, to excel everywhere else. You got to come home to a place of peace that's, thriving. I always use that word. So making sure home is thriving, and then going out into the world, giving my energy, trying to bless, help others reach their goals, and because when we're doing that, we are in a good place. It's hard to be uh, mad or whatever, any a negative thought or in a negative place when you're helping somebody else and you're staying busy and stuff. So that was a blessing. But shout out to my son, man. He got a honor roll, and
Oh, congrats.
yeah, and it was like a little humanitarian.
Okay.
They said, the best student to help others in class. One of the best PE award in class. So he killed it. He got a whole bunch of awards. He was going off. So
Solid, man.
yeah, super proud of him. And early on, he was having a little trouble, like reading, like getting the words together and all that. And really, that was on my fault, because I wasn't taking the time with him to really break it down. He was getting it done, his homework and everything, so we were moving on. And but then
Hmm.
we started to see teachers said that he was, they weren't explaining it to him the right
Hmm.
way,
Hmm.
and that can happen in school. So when I started explaining it to him, now this dude is like reading like way harder books and stuff.
That's dope.
So
Okay.
yeah, got him in that mindset of wanting to read, loving to read. Now he's like, "Where's my Dog Man book?" It's some
Mm.
Dog Man book, and he wants it in his backpack every day before he goes to school.
That's
So
fun. Oh, see, that's dope. That's dope.
yeah. So, and you know what? I think that also may be because I read to them at night. Like got him this little book, like a children's Bible, read them stories and stuff, and him seeing me read and all that. I think that kids imitate their fathers, their mothers, and stuff. They imitate what they see us do. So once I started doing that, it really picked up, and now Daddy reads, so I read.
Hmm.
That's so not to get too long with it, but yeah, that's we're in a good
Hmm.
place, man. It's a
That's
blessed
dope,
week.
man. Much respect on stepping in as a father and making sure that you got your kid mind right and
Yes,
situated
sir.
in school and everything. That's powerful, man. I love that for sure.
Appreciate it.
Very dope. For me, I just really took a sit, not sit. I took a chill pill, I guess you could say. I just really chilled out for the week to a certain degree. I did like watch some movies and play some video games. The whole purpose of me like just chilling back or just chilling out for a little bit was because I just wanted some time to really think and ponder about my music career, and where exactly do I want to go with my music. And so I just want to, really be detailed and be mindful and be very careful for what I wish for, because I do believe like you can wish for something, and if you're not too specific about it, you can get some things that come along with it that you did not want. And so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm very mindful of what I wish for and how I want it to come to me, and so I can really enjoy the blessings that will come to me in the future.
Yeah.
So with that, I just took a chill pill, step back, enjoyed time with my family, with my son, and just like just loving on my son and everything. He's just like so awesome. He's rolling around. He's just wiggling. He's always just like a happy baby, kind of just like always laughing and giggling whenever he sees me, which is like very dope. He's getting stronger
Awesome.
each and every day, which is just so enjoyable to watch. And just it's just enjoyable and inspiring to see like my son, like essentially in his nature, he's tried to become better every day. Like he tried to push his body to the max. He's tried to crawl. He's trying to he's trying to crawl next. He be doing his little baby push ups and everything, trying to get buff and everything like his dad. And so it's just like really dope to just see him like just interact with our dog too. He made like a very dope like motion. Like this is like of course the wonderful world of parenthood. And if you don't have kids, you have to just endure this. But anyway, it's like a dope moment where I saw him like actually acknowledge our dog. Like for the longest, like he didn't really acknowledge our dog, Dixie, and so like he actually acknowledged our dog. Like he looked at her, and then he actually made an effort to crawl over towards her, like kind of like do like a little crab roll or whatever, over towards Dixie and then touch her. And so like just seeing him do that, like he's man, just dope. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, I've been like just enjoying fatherhood and just really
Yeah.
taking the chill pill. So and the great thing about that was I was able to receive some clarity after me taking the week off. And really, I really now know what I need to do and what I want to do. And so and that me taking a week off was really inspired the subject to a certain degree because the reason why I took a week was because I wasn't really in the funk music wise. I was in the music rut. I was kind of like writing the same things, saying the same things over and over. I wasn't liking what I was putting out. I was like very discouraged, and I was like, let me just pause because I'm becoming like very very frustrated with it. And so that was what inspired the topic, and then Cass talked about what where did you get your ants acronym from? Your getting rid of all negative thoughts.
Yeah, I was watching a YouTube. I think it was ET, and he was talking along the same lines of what we're talking about, and just saw. I think somebody in the comments said, "Get rid of all those ain'ts," all those negative thoughts, and I was already kind of on that, because I was wanting to get back into affirmations and doing that daily because I fell off of that, and that I've seen my life changed from doing that, my mindset and my reality. So I wanted to get back into that. So,
Mm.
our thoughts, it all starts there. So,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, same along those same lines. I want to get back into affirmations myself, and
mm,
also I want to get back into like journaling on a more consistent basis. What I realized is that especially if you're in the funk. For me, I'm a mind heavy person. Like I have a lot of thoughts. Like a lot of thoughts just run through my mind. And so I learned that it's best to really find a way to get your thoughts out, and one of the best ways for me is to actually write them out. And so during the course of the week, I've been like, or really since the beginning of the year, I've been like way more mindful to like journal my thoughts, my feelings, all thoughts. I just let myself be free within my journal. I'm not sure if some people restrict themselves, like saying, like in regards to like if they have thoughts that would be deemed to be like bad thoughts in the eyes of society. I really don't keep that in mind at all. I just more so just let myself just go, free thought, free thought, free thought, and really purge everything that's like in my mind, and that really does like release so much tension within me. So I would highly recommend that if you're like, if you're going through a funk right now, to just journal your thoughts. One great thing that comes from that is the fact that you can read your thoughts and just read like, or you can read it over and over and try to find patterns and try to really determine like, all right, what's going on within me internally, or maybe this is just a time I need to just chill out and focus on like just important things like your family, and
yeah.
keeping that in mind. So yeah, I just hope that helped somebody who's like currently in the funk for sure. But yeah, okay, that's what you have to say to that.
Yeah, man. We all go through that funks, and life is, it's full of ups and downs,
Hmm.
and when we're at the top riding that wave, it will come down, eventually, and or at least we need to be prepared for when it does,
That's
and
true.
when funks happen, and when we are, because being creative, it takes a lot of energy, and so we have to supply that with looking at different things, being inspired by other things, and sometimes you're just not inspired or whatever, and that's life.
Hmm.
That's how it goes.
That's true.
But like you did, take some time to regroup and really see, what the foundation is, what's the foundation, and then build on that.
Hmm.
Something we need to build, start where we can build on something, and then go from there.
Hmm.
And another thing, Et was saying, he was actually talking about being in funks. He was like, uh, for 2020, like, limit being in a funk for only like 5 minutes, because less
Hmm.
than that if possible, for sure, but no more than 5 minutes, because a funk can we can ride those negative thoughts or whatever it is, for a whole day, a week, 3 hours, or it could be from something you
For
see on
life, man. Some people
right.
ride
Oh
phones
yeah.
for life, you know?
Oh yeah, 5, 10 years, decades,
Hmm.
25, yeah, and
Hmm.
things like that can all come from a picture you see on Instagram or somebody doing something, So the main thing with that is the ants. We gotta stop, those all negative thoughts,
True.
and the mind. You can't, it can't contain two thoughts at the same time. It can do a lot of things. It can make nothing out of something. It can do a lot of things, but one thing it can't do is you can't think two thoughts at the exact same time.
True.
So when I'm dwelling on something negative or whatever, then how I would, stop that thought is to change that thought, flip it, but you got to recognize it first, like
Hmm.
be like, hey, this thought is not getting me to my goal. This thought is not helping my family. This thought is not pushing me towards success. It's actually hindering, and it will put me in a hole, or whatever, in that dark space. So recognize that, and I'm not gonna sit here and dwell on this, and then think of something better, think of
Hmm.
something, and even speak out loud, like, hey, no, no, I am successful,
I do
I
that.
am gonna get this done. And when you do that, that negative thought can't remain in our conscious mind, can't remain in the mind when we're doing those things, and changing that thought, changing it. That's the main
Hmm.
thing, is change, changing it,
No, 100% agree. You have to be like you have to be a watchdog of your thoughts. Like you have to really monitor your thoughts. You have to really be like, and I do exactly what you do. I'm like, for some reason, I'm way more aggressive. Maybe I need to do some more introspective, deep dive within myself. But I'm like, stop being a bee. Da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? I'm like very aggressive. Like, come on, like put it together, like or get it together. Keep pushing, keep going. I'm like verbally saying this to myself as I walk around the house on my white party thing. I'm like insane, crazy. I'm holding the baby saying, let's just keep going, let's
he
go,
be
let's go,
going
let's go.
hard on
Yeah,
himself.
yeah, I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like super type earthed up, amped up because, I know I'm just mindful that, we're not granted life, it's no guarantee that tomorrow will come for me, for any of us.
Right.
And so I just know that we have a finite amount of time. I want to just get things done as much as possible. And I realize that, I realize when I'm slacking. I realize when I'm not putting it in my best effort. And so, and a lot of stuff is really mental. So I just try to make sure that I'm always on top of my mentality, my mindset, to make sure that my mind is right so I can go in the right direction that I want to go in life. So, yeah, I just think it's very important to have that watchdog in there, just monitor the thoughts, all those negative thoughts. I do agree. Like you can say something out loud to block your negative thought train. You can meditate for sure.
Yeah.
I've been on the wave of like listening to audiobooks, because audiobooks, like, one great thing about audiobooks or books in general is the fact that basically when you're listening to a book, you're listening to a person like really detail out their logic of like the way they see the world. And so
Hmm.
the great thing is the fact that you can just pick and choose what you like from what they're from their logic, and apply to, like, take it bring it on as a part of your life as much as you want. You can discard it whenever you want. But reading in general is just a great tool whenever you are in the funk, or just like listening to audiobooks or podcasts, but like that's geared towards inspiration or motivation. Those things are just like very important to just really ensure that you fix like whatever weak point in your mind is going on. It just helps like really strengthen that, so you can really push through and push forward and stay motivated whenever you are going through a hard time. I would
For
say for
sure,
sure.
man. And I don't read enough as I would like to. I mean, I was
It's
about to say
a
I don't have
life.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's making an excuse if I say that. But and what I was just thinking when you were saying that, because listening to audiobooks, that's good, and that works a certain part of our brain, and visually seeing it works a certain part of our brain, and then the reading works another part of our brain, and that works like our because when you're reading it you have to imagine it. So I think it's like
True, true,
lifting
true.
weights with our imagination. It's like
True.
lift. It's like exercising our imagination because we're
Hmm.
seeing words and it automatically. I mean, we can't not when we're reading something not imagine like, well, this is how I interpret it or whatnot, so that's the plus thing about reading is it triggers that imagination, and we as so it would be different if we're watching a movie or something, we use our imagination, but I think it works differently
Hmm.
from the visual aspect to the audio, and then the reading.
Hmm.
I think that's more of us using our imagination because you just have words. You
Hmm.
don't have the audio or a visual. So but whatever works for each one of us. We gotta do that and get to that information and apply it.
Hmm.
And uh, it's like it would be better if I read a whole book and I don't apply any of it. I just skim through it and I really didn't soak it in. It would be better to just read a chapter and apply that chapter where it's actually helping my life and I'm able to use it than just to read through a book to say that I
Yeah.
read the whole book.
Yeah.
So I gotta you gotta find that fine line of what actually works for you.
Hmm. Because like essentially, like if you just like reading it just for the sake of reading, you're not really getting anything from it. Then you're not really exchanging your time wisely, because you're not really doing thing that's really giving you value, that's providing you value that will help
Right.
propel you forward in life. But there was something that you said earlier. I'm trying to make sure that I don't forget. Like I'm on the verge of forgetting it. You, oh man, it was about reading. Darn it, dang, it always happens.
Imagination or
There
being
you go. Thank you, man. You
yeah.
got it right. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, cause you said like you were reading as you read, like when you read words, you activate parts of your mind that stimulate your imagination. And I just want to say to that, man, like your imagination is just so very important. I think it's very important to exercise your imagination, because like your imagination is a tool that you need to use to really also help get you out of a funk. Like you need to start visualizing yourself more in a position of where you want to be in the future. Like just know that this is just a a point in the journey at this very moment. Just a point in the journey, just at this very point on the trail, and that that your end point, or which it shouldn't really be an end point, because I think the thing is it's going to be an infinite many points, or I think you want to lay out infinite points, because life, you never know when you're going to go. And so, anyway, I just heard so many different stories of whenever somebody had like a goal, like, all right, I want to get rich, and they end up getting rich and they end up being very miserable in life because they thought money was everything. So that's the reason
Right.
why I bring that up. And so you just be mindful of where your endpoints are, your end goal. I try to play like a forever game, so it's like a thing that I'm making sure that I'm providing like I'm providing value to people generationally. So I just try to think as long term as possible with my value that I provide. So anyway, but to the point, yeah, like just use your imagination. Your imagination is very important. I've been practicing doing that more. Whenever I make a song or a beat, I imagine myself actually in front of a crowd, a big crowd, like at American Airlines Stadium, and everybody's chanting the words. I walk around the house. I'm running around the house sometimes whenever wife be asleep, jumping around like I'm, with the mic in my hand, with the fake mic in my hand, rapping
Yeah.
whatever. Really visualizing myself there eventually. Like I like for real. Like people, but thinking like this dude 30, I'm about to be 34 years old, running around the house with a fake mic, trying to like yeah, like 'cause this is my dream and it's gonna come to fruition because I'm visualizing it. And so you have to really, imagine yourself being there and just know that it's going to be there. You're going to be there in due time, and just also make sure that you continue to prepare for it too. Prepare for your blessings. I've been seeing like so many people who receive blessings and then like they just squander it. And so I also been like my very mindful of just be preparing for my blessings and just making sure I prepare for what's to come. So that was kind of a sidebar, but yeah, I think that's very helpful in like in both getting out of a funk and also getting rid of those negative thoughts, man. Because like those negative thoughts are what really leads to people being in the funk. And
Oh
if
yeah.
you're not that type of person who's like who practices self awareness, like all the time, you'll succumb to it. The thing is, I practice self awareness and I still succumb to it. And so I'm just thankful that I'm still aware like all right why am I in the funk, like what's really wrong, why am I mad, like what's going on, like I keep digging, I keep probing, I keep learning more and more about myself, which is very dope because that has improved my music because now I'm becoming more introspective with my music, or I'm becoming more emotional with, or my emotional range within my music is now becoming broader. And so yeah, I know that was like a long stream of consciousness, but yeah, you got some game from that.
Most definitely, man.
Yeah.
And uh, to that note, like a lot of people may not even know that they're in a funk. The way the world moves so fast
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
like with
Yeah.
this and that, and you here, you got to go there. No,
Yeah.
they may not even realize that they're in a funk. They just know they're unhappy or they don't
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that self awareness, comes into
That's
play.
and I want to say this like if you I, I'm trying to figure out like a way that I can kind of help people identify like if they're in the funk. I guess like really in general, like if you feel like you always in a bad mood or you angry or you don't want to talk to people, like people hit your phone up and you don't really want to connect with people. That's like one thing for sure. Like you like a person who like you just don't want to connect with people. Like you just want to stay inside the house. I know there's some people who can survive like that. I thought I was that type of person, but I come to realize recently, like, no, I need to get my ass out the house. Like I just can't stay in this house all day,
Yeah,
and like make beats and just do music like that. So I'm now making more. It's more of a point to go outside the house more, which also will help you get out of a funk. So get out the house. One thing for sure,
definitely.
go to events, go meet up with people who are like minded or who could be like minded like you, who have at least a similar interest. Like tonight, I'm going to the open mic again just to peep the scene. And so just being
Nice.
around, just making sure that I get out the house every day. Talk to people too. Don't be a weirdo. I had to stop being a weirdo and not talking to people. And so I'm now saying hello, smiling at people. Hey, having conversations, meaningful conversations with people. So don't, all these things really help break out of a funk and stop those negative thoughts because you can talk to some random stranger and get some game and wisdom that lighten your day, and then like, okay, you know what? I'm good now. You know what I'm saying? My negative thoughts, I'm tripping. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be friendly, and I they have the introvert, extrovert. They have
Hmm.
all these what are they, the personality
Yeah, yeah,
tests and
yeah.
all these different things. You know what I'm saying? What they call you and all that. But I mean, really, that can be an excuse.
True.
To like, "Hey, I'm not a people's person and all that. No,
Yeah.
we at times we're all not people person when we need to be to ourselves to replenish ourselves, to gather ourselves. But we need people. We don't. It's unhealthy for us to be cooped up away from everybody else, and it's seasons and it's times when we need that. But it's healthy to get out, to see other people, to smile at somebody and them to smile back, to communicate with it. That's why we're able to speak that way and able to, or speak the way we're able to speak, and to hug somebody, all these different things. We want to be friendly. We want to give off that good energy, and bless other people. Like, what if, okay, what if, just an example, uh, I was supposed to, or I had the opportunity to go out to just to the gas station or
Mm-hmm.
something, but I was like, nah, I don't really want to run into anybody. I don't want to smile at anybody. I'm
I
not in a
feel
good
you.
mood. But if I did go at that time when I had that thought, then I would have ran into somebody that was on the verge of hurting themselves or something, and me smiling at them and giving them a five, telling them, yeah, it's gonna be all right, man, or whatever, would have saved their life or stopped them from hurting themselves. But I, thinking about myself and like, I don't want to, I didn't get
Mm,
even I didn't step into where I was supposed to step into,
mm, mm,
So it's just something to think about. Of course, we all move at how we should and or how we feel we should, but I think that's important though to get out of that space where I don't want to interact with other people because I've been there. I was I was numero uno at that,
yeah.
for sure. And so, it's about that's what I said earlier change,
Mm-hmm.
changing for the better. What can we do to change ourselves for the better and to eventually change somebody else's life, impact the world, change the world with our presence? We're here for a reason to change lives, to change the bad to good. That's what I really believe.
Absolutely true, man. Perfectly said. Um, Fire podcast, dope podcast. I was gonna
Yeah,
add
yeah, yeah.
one last thing, but you know what? I'm not gonna add it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, dope podcast, fire podcast, cast. Go ahead and give out your socials. I know we didn't get to the choose your part, but we can do a part two about that. Just being mindful of your choices 24 hours within a day. I think we can do that later, especially when I get into a routine of actually making sure that I audit my day. I think I'm gonna actually try to audit my day where I'm like, all right, what did I do this hour? Like, what like be like really
Yeah.
my because maybe I need to get to that minute level and then loosen up a little bit to have a more structured day. But I know that there's some issues going on within my 24-hour window that I need to fix and remedy or provide some
Gotcha.
remedies for. And so I'm trying to get on that way with just auditing my 24 hours and making sure that I'm utilizing my 24 hours to the best of its possibilities. So
For sure. And when we break stuff down, we're able to fine tune it better. You know what I'm saying? When
yeah.
the more you, of course, it's more difficult to
Mm-hmm.
break things down to the, break it down, break it down.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to fine tune it and, make it that much more excellent or,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
True, true. So yeah, Cass, go ahead and give out your socials.
For sure. On Instagram, CAS underscore THRIVE, and also at the Boxing Bell. Been putting up more content on that. Kind of fell off, but holler at your boy.
Yeah. For me, ShawnBreeze.com, BreezeLightMedia.com, TheCreatorMasterminds.com, up and running all of those things. Of course, you can find me on Instagram as well, Shawn Breeze, OG Shawn Breeze on Facebook and Twitter. And then also you can go to The Creator Masterminds on Instagram as well and on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the Facebook community. We really do appreciate you guys. We really do love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your support. Thank you.
Word up.
For
Yeah.
sure. And so yeah, with that said, this has been the Creative Masterminds podcast. And I'm not sure why my voice went like that, but it is what it is. So yeah, peace out, people.
I'll
Yeah.
let y'all.
All right.
Peace.